All right, let's look here what we have. Okay, notice we don't have all the variables in all the equations like we have been having. But we have y's here, z's here, y and z here, and x's are the only thing in all of them. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to eliminate x, and then I'll have y's and z's left over. So what will I do? Well, I'm going to have to multiply this equation by something. If I multiply it by 5, then I can add it to number 1, and the x's will cancel. And then if I multiply it by 2 and add it to number 3, then the x's here will cancel. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. So I'll have my 5x minus 6y plus 3z equals 50 from the first one. Now I'm going to take 5 times this one, so I'll have a minus 5x, and then I'll have 5 times that, so it's going to be plus 20y. Now there's no z, so I'll have 0z, and then it's going to be plus 50, and so it's going to be 50. So that's going to be my first elimination. Now the second one, I'm going to take 2 times that. So I'll have a minus 2x plus 8y plus 0z equals, and that's going to be 20. And here I have a 2x plus 0y, and then a minus z equals 10. And now notice I'm putting placeholders anywhere where there's a 0. That way I remember that when I add, it just lines up, and so I don't miss anything. All right, so this cancels this, and this cancels this. So now I have a minus 6 plus 20, so that's going to be a 14y plus 3z equals 100. Okay. Well, what about here? Well, here 8 plus 0 is 8y, 0 minus z is minus z, and then I have equals to 30. All right. Now what do I want to do? Well, if I notice 8 and 14 won't work, but 3 and 1, I can do that. What I can do is I can multiply this one by 3. That'll give me a negative 3z, and when I add it to that, those will cancel. So that gives me 14y plus 3z equals 100. Now when I take this one, I'll get a 24y minus 3z equals, and then I get 90. Okay. So now what do I have? Well, that's going to be 38y, those cancel, equals 190. All right. Well, divide by 38, divide by 38, and so y equals, if we take that times 5, that'll give me a 0 there. That'd be 15 plus 4, that'd be 90. Yeah, so this would be 5. Okay. And so y equals 5. Now I can plug in and start getting my other values. And so if y is 5, then I have 8 times 5 minus z equals 30. And so that's going to be 40 minus z equals 30. So subtract 40. And negative z equals negative 10, or z equals 10 if you divide by that negative 1. Now I can plug that back in, and then this would probably be the easiest one. And so then I would have 2x minus 10 equals 10. Well, now I add 10 to both sides. So 2x equals 20, and divide by 2, x equals 10 as well. And so my solution set is 10, 5, 10. Okay, so now let's do the check on the next page. And so I'll look at these and then kind of write them on the next page. So I have 10, 5, 10. And so then it was 5 times 10. Then it was minus 6 times 5 plus 3 times 10 again. And that was equal to 50. So 50 minus 30 plus 30 equals 50. Well, that cancels that, so 50 equals 50, so that one works. The next one was negative x, which was negative 10, and then plus 4 times y, which is 5, and that was equal to 10. So minus 10 plus 20 equals 10. 20 minus 10 is 10, so 10 equals 10. It works on that one. And then our last one was 2 times 10, and then we had minus 10 for z, and that was equal to 10, and 20 minus 10 is 10 again, so it works. And so our solution is 10, 5, 10. Okay, and we've shown our check, and it does work. All right, what about the next one here? Well, again, if we're doing elimination, or if we have no choice, we just do whatever we want to do, I think it looks like the easiest one. Whenever you have something with a 1 and the rest of them are kind of small numbers, I'm going to multiply this one times stuff to eliminate that x value. Okay, so what would I have to multiply this one by to eliminate the 5x here? Well, I'd have to multiply by 5 and add to number 1. And if I multiplied it by a -4 and add it to number 2, that would get rid of this one. Okay, so let's do that. So I'll have 5x minus 3y plus 4z equals -1. And then I'm taking 5 times this one, so that's a -5x, and then plus 25y plus 35z equals, and that's going to be a -55. All right, and so that and that cancel, and we can add the rest, and we just have y's and z's. Now let's do the same thing for the next one. So we have the -4x plus 2y minus 3z equals 0. And now we're taking a -4 times this row. So -4 times -1 is going to be 4x. And then we're going to have a minus, and that's going to be a minus 20y. And then that's going to be a minus 28z. And that equals positive 44. So if I've done all the math right, now what we have to do is add the two equations. So 25 minus 3, that's going to be 22y. 35 plus 4 is plus 39z. And minus 55 minus 1 is minus 56. Okay. So, so far so good, I hope. And here now we have minus 20 plus 2, so that's a minus 18y. And 8, 9, 10, 11, so that's a minus 31z. And then that's going to be a 44. All right, now what do we have? We have big numbers. We have 18 and 22, 39 and 31. And so now we have to kind of decide what we want to eliminate next. And I think probably, let's look, 31 and 39, that's 3 and 13, that's 31. Those are big. Here, well, at least we can divide by 2. And so 22 equals 11 times 2, and 18 equals 9 times 2. So if I multiply this one by 11 and this one by 9, then I will have the first terms I can cancel. They're already opposite signs, so I just have to multiply by those numbers. So I'm going to multiply this one, I said, by 11. And I said I was going to multiply this one by 9. Okay. So 22 times 9, that's going to be 18, and that's going to be 19. So it's going to be 198y plus, and 9 times 9 is 81. It's 27, 35, and then we have a z here. This is going to be a negative, and then we're getting to big numbers. So 56 times 9 is 54. That's 45, 49. Yeah, so that's a minus 494. Is that right? 50. Oh, that's a 50. Never mind. I see what I did wrong. All right, so that's 45 plus 5 is 50. So that's 50 there. All right, and so when I multiply this one times 11, so that had better be a negative 198y. And then 31 times 11, so that's 1313. And so we get 341. So that's going to be a negative 341z. And then we have 44 times 11, so that's 484. All right. So now We can subtract and add and all that good stuff. That cancels. 351 minus 341, that's 10z. And this is going to be a negative, and there's 20 there, so z equals a negative 2. So that then is my first number. Now we plug that back into one of the two equations, and we can do this one or we can do this one over here. It doesn't matter, this one's closer, so we'll do minus 18y minus 31 times a minus 2 equals 44. And so minus 18y plus, and that's going to be a 62 equals 44, minus 62 minus 62. And so then we have a minus 18y equals, and so that's going to be a 5, that's 12, so it's going to be a 18, that's negative, so y equals a positive 1. Okay. Now we can plug both of those back into this one, and that will give us the least amount of work to do here. So minus x plus 5 times 1 plus 7 times negative 2, and that equals a negative 11. So minus x plus 5 minus 14 equals negative 11. So if I add 14 over here, that'll be a 3. And if I subtract 5, that's going to be a minus 2. So minus x equals a minus 2. And so x equals 2. So my triple is 2, 1, minus 2. Okay. And so let's plug all those back in and see if they work. So that was 2, 1, minus 2, and we're going to plug it into 5 times 2 minus 3 times 1, and then plus 4 times negative 2, and that's supposed to be negative 1. So 10 minus 3 minus, and that's 8 equals negative 1. Minus 11 plus 10 is minus 1 equals minus 1. Check. Okay, next one. Minus 4 times 2 plus 2 times 1, and then minus 3 times minus 2 equals 0. Well, here we have minus 8, minus 2, and then, oh, that's plus 2, sorry. And then plus 6 equals 0. Well, 8 minus 8 is 0. So that one works. And our last one was a minus 2 plus 5 times 1, and plus 7 times negative 2, and that was supposed to be a negative 11. So minus 2 plus 5 minus 14. So minus 16 plus that's going to be a negative 11. And that works as well. And so our ordered triple really is 2, 1, minus 2. Okay, so again, while the work over here, you know, get you to your answer, really follow this along. Make sure when you get done, you check it all and make sure you do have the correct solution, because there shouldn't be any reason why on the ones where you get an answer that you would get it wrong unless you just typed it wrong when you're putting it into the computer. But you should always get it right here, because you can always check your answers. All right, what about this one? Well, this one we're going to be going and getting rid of fractions first, I think it looks like, because I don't want to work with all those fractions. And what will that mean? We'll have to multiply each one of these times some LCD. So we have 2, 5, 5, 10. So it looks like if I multiply it first one by 10, that will cancel everything. Here we have 4, 5, 5, 20. So 20 looks to be the one here. And 2, 4, 2, 4. That's going to be multiplied by 4. All right, so 10 times a half, well, that's going to give me, I don't know if I write it over here, that'll be a 5x. 5 goes into 10 twice, that's 2, and it's a negative, so that's going to be a minus 2y. And 5 going into 10 twice times 2 would be 4, so it's going to be plus 4z, and then that equals, and now the 10 and 10 cancel, and that equals negative 13. Okay, now here 20, 4 going to 25, so 5 times 1 is going to be 5, so that's going to be a 5x. And 5 will go in here, 4 times negative 2, so that's going to be a negative 8y. And 5 goes in here 4 times, that's going to be a minus 4z, and that equals a negative 7. Okay. And the last one, 2 will go in here twice, so we have a negative 2x. 4 will go in here once, so we have a negative 3y. 2 will go in here twice, so we have a negative 2z. And then those go and we get negative 5. So really, it's not too bad because if we look at this, I see when I was writing these that those two, if we add them together, the z's cancel. And if I take this one times 2 and add it to number 1, the z's will cancel again, and then I'll just work with x and y's. So let's do that. So 5x minus 2y plus 4z equals negative 13, and 5x minus 8y minus 4z equals negative 7. Add those together. That cancels that one. And so I have 5 plus 5 is 10x, minus 8 minus 2 is minus 10y equals, and here it looks like a minus 20. Now what about the second one? Well, that was 5x minus 8y minus 4z equals minus 7. Now multiply by 2, that's a minus 4x minus 6y minus 4z equals minus 10. And so 5 minus 4 is going to be x, minus 8 minus 8 minus 14y. Oh, that's a plus here. I wrote that wrong. Nope, that is right. I didn't change. I put the wrong numbers here. Pardon me, I was supposed to put the top row. And so that was 5x minus 2y plus 4z equals minus 13. All right, so now we have x, and then we had minus 2 minus 6, so that's a minus 8y. Those cancel, and that equals a minus 23. Okay, it's a good thing we caught that before we went too far. All right, now we have these two equations. So we have this one and this one, and we have two unknowns. It looks like if I take, I could do substitution, or I could multiply this one times a negative 10 and eliminate the x's. So again, really, it doesn't matter what we do, but maybe I'll take this one times a negative 10 just because. And so here that would give me 10x minus 10y equals minus 20. Here that's going to be a minus 10x, and then plus 80y equals, and that's going to be plus 230. So that cancels that. 80 minus 10 is going to be 70y. 230 minus 20 is going to be 210. Divide by 70. And so y is equal to basically just 3. So that worked out nicely. Now if y is 3, I can solve for x on that one easy, so I'll do that. X minus 8 times 3 equals minus 23. So x minus 24 equals minus 23. Add 24. X equals 1. So that was pretty easy. Now let's plug it back in for z. I would probably plug it into this last one because there's a smaller z. And so I'd have a minus 2 times x, which is 1, minus 3 times y, which is 3, minus 2 times z equals minus 5, minus 2, minus 9, minus 2z equals minus 5, 9, 10, 11. So I'll add 11 to both sides. So minus 2z equals 11 minus 5 is 6. Divide by negative 2, z equals negative 3. Okay, so my ordered pair, it looks like, is 1, 3, and minus 3. Okay, now we'll go check it on the next page, and this is into part 3, but we're going to do our check first. And so we had the 1, 3, minus 3. And now we have to plug it back into those original kind of equations. So we had 1/2 times 1, and minus 1/5 times 3, and then plus 2/5, and then times minus 3. And that's supposed to be equal to a negative 13 over 10. So here we have 1/2 minus 3/5 and then we have minus, and that's going to be 6/5 equals minus 13 over 10. So we have 6, 7, 8, 9. So we have 1/2 minus 9/5 equals minus 13/10. So common denominator, so we'll have 5 over 10 minus 18 over 10 equals minus 13 over 10. Minus 18 plus 5 is minus 13 over 10. And that checks. Okay. And so we would do that for all three of those. And so now we have 1/4 times 1, and then minus 2/5 times the 3, and then minus 1/5 times the minus 3, and that's minus 7 over 20. So that's 1/4, and it's going to be minus 6 over 5. And then this is going to be plus, and that's going to be 3 over 5, and that's minus 7 over 20. All right, so that's going to give me 1 over 4, and then minus 6 plus 3 is going to be minus 3 over 5 equals minus 7 over 20. So multiply that one by 4 over 4, that one by 5 over 5. So I have 5 minus 12 is minus 7 over 20 equals minus 7 over 20. So it checks there. And again, sometimes the checks take a lot more work, but if you want to make sure your answers are correct, I highly suggest it. And so minus 1/2 times our 1, and then minus 3/4 times our 3, and then a minus 1/2 times our negative 3, and that's supposed to be negative 5 over 4. So here we have a negative 1/2, and then we have a minus 9 over 4, then we have plus 3 over 2, and that's equal to minus 5 over 4. So 3 minus 1 is going to be 2 over 2, so that's 1 minus 9/4. Well, if we multiply by 4 over 4, minus 9 plus 4 is going to be a minus 5 over 4. And that one checks too. So our solution really is 1, 3, minus 3. All right. So that's into part 3. I'll come back for part 4.